Hi everyone, this is another review video for one of Arun Sharma's books on logical reasoning called as How to Prepare for Logical Reasoning for CAT. The previous video was on quantitative aptitude book which I will link above for your reference. Please note that this is not an endorsed video. You can buy any other LR book that suits you. You can also use any edition of the book, it really doesn't matter. The three things that this video is going to cover will include who exactly should buy this book, what does it contain and what's important out of it, and finally, how exactly to use this book for the CAT exam. This book is very basic in nature. The author uses a step by step method of explaining how each question is to be solved. So, this book is relevant for someone who has never solved an LR question in life, who is looking for the shortest method of solving the questions, and also for someone who is preparing for multiple management entrance exams. This book definitely contains a lot of tips and tricks to draw the right diagrams, which is where I believe a lot of people make mistakes in the LRDI section. That can be found very easily in its reaction tracker section, which I'll be explaining very shortly. In fact, if you want to go through the DILR strategy that I had shared earlier, you would understand how this book perfectly fits with the tips that I had mentioned in the video. So this book has been divided into three parts: reasoning for CAT exam, reasoning for other exams, and reasoning archives. If I start from the last one, reasoning archives contain the past year papers of CAT exam as well as other exams. In my opinion, the resource is quite a lot to begin with, so I would only recommend to use this resource if you feel like you are done with the basics. Reasoning for other exams contains types that are not directly asked in the CAT exam. For example, blood relations or directions. Most coaching institutes tell their students to skip this portion entirely, but personally I believe it's important because sometimes the sets that appear in the CAT exam make use of these as constraints. So you should at least be aware of these questions. Reasoning for CAT exam can be divided into three types: logical reasoning, verbal reasoning, and LOD based exercises. My focus was to solve LR and VR first and only jump onto the LOD based exercises once I was comfortable with the different types of LR questions. If I found a question to be easier or something that I had already done, I tried to skip it because I also had the time material. If you are only using this book, then I would highly recommend solving all the questions. Each chapter of the book is subdivided into the following components. Each chapter begins with the introduction, which I believe is something you can skip because, unlike the QA book, you won't find any formulas or tricks over here. Then comes an example of the particular type, which I believe most people would just read by, which is not the right way to go about it actually. You should be solving the example on your own because the very next component is reaction tracker. Reaction tracker is a step by step account of how exactly the question was to be solved. So when you solve the example on your own and you compare it with how the reaction tracker shares how it was to be solved, you will understand where exactly you made a mistake or where exactly you took a longer route as compared to solving it the shortest way possible. And this is the part where you're going to find most amount of tips and tricks which you can note on the book itself or in a separate notebook, like we created a formula book for QA. I did not create a separate formula book for DILR because I thought the tricks were only handful in number, so I only memorized them and I noted them on the book itself. After the reaction tracker, there is an exercise which gets followed by detailed solutions. Now, here I used a couple of rules for my preparation, which might be of help, so I'm going to list them out. First is to split the entire exercise into the different sets. So I used to count the number of sets in each exercise and divide it on the basis of number of sittings. In one sitting, which is like, let's say once I've sat to solve the questions, I used to solve 7 to 8 sets. Second was to never mentally solve the questions. So initially I tried to solve the questions on the book itself, scribbling here and there, and I realized that I made a lot of mistakes in drawing the diagrams and I had to redo the numbers. So what I suggest you is to use a separate pen and paper and solve each question or each set on a fresh paper. Third is to not time the sets. So, unlike QA, in which I shared that you could attempt the questions and not focus on solving them, the same does not hold true for DILR. You should really force yourself to arrive at the solution. Think of all the different ways in which the constraint can be decoded. That will help you in creating that sort of bent of mind which is required for DILR. Fourth was to not jump onto the solutions every moment when I solved a set. So after completing a particular sitting, which is let's say of 7 to 8 sets, I would take a break and after some time I would review the solutions of all the questions together. And the final point was to deep dive into the detailed solutions. So, answer key can only tell you whether your answer to a question was correct or not. But you should definitely check the detailed solution because that will help you in identifying whether you use the shortest method or not. So, these were all the tips I had to share with you and also the review of the book. If you have any further queries regarding this section, do let me know. I will also link the DILR strategy video here below for your reference in case you want to watch it. Thanks, guys.